for example, at North Carolina, Mac Brown is hired. Now, the day he's hired, there's a level of credibility that's been lifted to because of just simply the hiring. He didn't do anything. He didn't make any good moves. He didn't do anything. Just people know who Mac Brown is. So then on top of that, you have, if he's really as good as he's supposed to be, then he starts to build the program and make the moves that have an impact. So I think Eddie the Cane's possibly talking about two things there: the actual name recognition of some of the people that he listed being like a wow factor, and then on top of that, those people actually making an impact that brings those student athletes into the program. If you see the comment there from Eddie the Cane.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's a lot of impact. You can even talk about the support staff, DeMarcus Van Dyke, former first-round draft pick, who went to Miami. Cooney, the David Cooney, former high school coach, who's on staff now. You got Telly Lockett with an analyst role here at Miami. There's a lot of guys who are a part of that. So yeah, they're all doing a great job. Just developing players, and obviously those relationships and everything that are paying off in terms of getting commitments, which is pretty awesome. Banda just keeps doing the job. Guys who play safety get better. We're going to finally start seeing some of those guys get to the NFL. And we had Adrian Colbert who came down here. He played safety and corner as a transfer, and that worked for him. He's doing a great job of getting the guys that he's after. And yes, Mike Rumph at cornerback, we've talked about it. There's always a late cycle get, but why do we got to wait till the late cycle and, pick up somebody else's fumble? Why are we not getting the guys at the top of the class that we want? So if you're talking about, a Jason Marshall at corner, if you're talking about any of these other guys, there's going to come a time where we got to start getting those dudes, because you're seeing that we're getting those guys at every single other position. It was told to me that Rivals dropped James Williams from 5-star to 4-star on Wednesday. And I went with that and I commented about that. I did not check into that. And I do know and have spoken to a bunch of those guys. Woody Womack, Rob Cassidy, who lives down here as a Southeastern analyst for Rivals. Mike Farrell, I've interacted with before, a couple of their other national guys. Rivals has been around for a long time. So, we know those guys. Specifically Rob Cassidy and I, because, I have, talked with him a bunch and everything, and we have a connection of whatever level. We spoke about it and everything, but that change was made in February after a Rivals camp, dropping James Williams from a 5-star to a 4-star, because some of the national guys basically thought that the conversation from earlier that he's going to outgrow safety, he's going to go to outside linebacker and not be very physical at outside linebacker because of his preference to play in space, which when you're playing safety, and if you look at Davies' film, his junior highlights from when he played at Western High School, he's playing a lot of single high safety, center field, free safety. Bro, yeah, that's absolutely playing in space. You know what I mean? But then saying that and then translating that to outside linebacker of wanting to play in space and not be around people, I think was kind of a faulty narrative or faulty logic. But that was the logical foundation that was told to me. That was the reason to drop him to a 4-star. Now, I believe that he's going to end up a 5-star on every recruiting service, ESPN, Scout. Well, Scout doesn't exist anymore. Rivals and 247. I believe that he will. James Williams will get up there. But yeah, based on the projection of moving to outside linebacker and not being physical at outside linebacker because of his preference to play in space, which as a single high free safety is what you do every snap anyway with your heels at 14 or 15, and single high means one dude in the middle of the field playing center field, like you're playing baseball. I'm here by myself covering this range. So that was the thing basically with Rivals and dropping it. I don't agree with it. I spoke to a couple people from Rivals the other day, and there are some who don't agree with it. But also at the end of the day, when the head rankings guy and your boss says, Yeah. But I agree with it. So we're dropping him. That's what happens. You know what I mean? But again, I think that this is just a step along the path. I don't think that he's going to end up being a 4-star. I think that, I mean, you can say what you want about any recruiting service, but leaving James Williams as a 4-star at the end of the cycle just to prove a point would actually be deleterious to their own reputation. When everybody else sees, look, he's gigantic, he's fast, he covers all this ground. He is still a physical enforcer in the middle of the field, even though it's not the same as being a Michael Barrow and Tamarick Vanover, a crossing route in the middle of the field. He's not that kind of enforcer, but still at safety, he uses his physicality to a requisite level or above. But then just to prove a point of being contrarian, then we're going to leave him as a lower ranked guy. You're going to lose credibility that I don't think that you have the cachet to lose. Even with being a website as tenured and recognizable as Rivals, you cannot just go and be contrarian overall just to do it. So that's the story that I believe happened with James Williams being dropped to a 4-star at Rivals. But again, I do not believe that he will end this cycle ranked as a 4-star there or anywhere.
So for him to be dropped down to a 4-star, according to Rivals, would have to be pretty significant in regards to the rankings themselves, because as we talk about from time to time here, the range of 5 stars, according to most of these services each year, is about 30 to 35 players. I see him in the bottom portion of the top 10. So he's like a number 8, 9 player in the country, both according to 247 Sports and the Composite. So Rivals must have him dropped him to 40 or 50.
Yeah, I think it was somewhere in that range.